How's it going, guys, and welcome back to Boo, where we are continuing to build and expand and make everything look very, very nice. But at the moment, what has been going on? Well, a new patch dropped today, and what you'll notice is let's go down to the bottom floor, and actually we don't even really need to, but I'm going to ask you what you see is different. Yes, indeed, we have light radii now, so they've added several new things to the game. One is actually a light radius, and they're playing around with it. It's not perfect yet. It shines through walls and things of that nature, as you can see with the candles and things like that. Sometimes it shines through the walls, but one can only assume that from this we may get nightfall, we may get some other features, so that's very, very cool. In terms of new objects, let's take a look. We're going to run through and talk about new objects. So there's a whole bunch of new lamps here in your indoor decorations menu. In your outdoor decorations menu, you've got a fishing dock, which is pretty new. I don't see anything else here that's really jumping out at me aside from a pond. And so I guess you've got to put that near water. That's really kind of the focus of the new patches. A lot of the items are for interacting with water and for dealing with water. In our utilities menu here, we've got a fishing dock, and then we've also got a well, neither of which I've played around with. I don't really know what the well is for. Don't really know what I guess the fishing set just makes people happy is what it says in the tooltip, but I haven't had a chance to play with it yet. Traps menu, nothing really new. Stairs, nothing really new. Let's see here. What else do we have to play around with? Containers have new graphics. If you run through, you can see that ice chests, decorative chests, prepared food barrels, everything has a little symbol now, or everything has a new icon that lets you know exactly what's being contained within it. In terms of other items, decorative, we don't really, in terms of furniture and windows and things, there's nothing really new there. There is new graphics for a lot of the military gear. If you run through, you'll see that everything's been colored, everything's a lot more garish, everything's a lot brighter. So basically they added a lot of color to everything. And then also, most importantly, they finally added the job system. Yes, indeed, my friends. Now, just like when you go to the military menu, you have the same tabs, and that's actually probably the smartest way he could have organized it given the way that the game is programmed. Basically what he did is he copied and pasted the soldier menu into here, put a new UI on it, and now you can assign people to jobs. So basically if I was going to go for Maria Gilpin here, we would click on jobs, and just like you assign a container, you can go through and you can say, I want you to do this, I want you to do this, but I don't want you to do this, or you can organize them into groups. And as you can see here, I have diggies prepared, I have cookies prepared, and I have movies prepared. But really, I haven't decided yet how I want to organize my workforce. I'm just kind of playing it by ear at the moment, letting them do their own thing. That being said, all of those cool things completed, they are butchering pigs down here. Our food supply is remarkably awesome at the moment, unless I'm just miscounting things like crazy. We've got 10 cooked pork, we've got just loads of stuff that we're going to have on hand for eating. And I think we're okay right now to start building some new objects. Let's get this building roofed off right here. That's really what I want to get done. This thing needs to be done. It's been in a state of disrepair, incompletion for a long, long time, so hopefully someone will come along and take care of that. I am excited about the prospects of actually being able to assign jobs to my townies. That's really a major feature for this game, and actually one of the things that I find people complain about the most when they discuss the game. They say, yeah, I like the game, but why can't I assign jobs to people? Well, now you can, but until you have a workforce of, I'd say, 50 plus townies, really, they'll probably get things done all on their own. That's just me personally. I'm not really going to worry about assigning them to any crazy jobs until a little bit further on in the future. So I'm going to get this started right here. Let's start the clay roof. I spent a large amount of time in between episodes mining out some stone. So we've got a large portion of stone here. I also would like to get some iron mines ready to roll so we can start making spiderite gear for everybody in our society, or bone gear. I mean, we've got bones laying around, so maybe we'll go ahead and do that. Let me take a look. Do I have bone carving desks here? No, I don't. So let's get some of those, just so if we decide to do that, we can do that. So we'll put them along the wall here. It's not going to look amazing, but there's really no other space for them, so we'll keep them right there. Now, people are eating like crazy. I have noticed that our food consumption has gone up since our population went up. No surprise there. Let me check my announcements here. We had a caravan. We're killing off pigs. Oh, that's another thing. You can actually, our guys have little, I guess, stat modifiers now, or like buffs and debuffs. They're more apparent on military members. Like here you can see that Tybalt Verdun has Pierce Resist, Silver Bolt, Mix Fulfilled, and Slash Damage. I haven't really looked up and seen what any of those do just yet. Like this is really like the 10th minute that I've experienced the new patch, so I'm not incredibly informed. I didn't even know that a patch dropped today. Oh good, we put everything on the wrong floor. Fantastic. So that's lovely. Luckily they've placed things off to the side, so we're not completely screwed. we can go like so, and they should pick up all of these and just shift them over one block. This should just be a colossal hauling job, which will be fine. That's fine. Everything should work out okay. There it goes. So we're good to go there. And now, once they get that layer laid down, I am liking the speed at which we're working now. I would like to get a few more people assigned to our city, though. So hopefully, in the future, I'll be able to go through and get maybe, I'd say like 20 more. I'd be really comfortable with 20 more citizens, I think, is really where I'd like to be. 51 would put me in a spot where I can say, you do this, you have this job, and I think everything would flow smoothly. It is going to take some experimentation. So now, for this next part, this is going to be a little sketchy. We are going to have to play with these blocks down here because I would like to get this whole area mined out, cleaned up, and looking good. So let me make sure I'm on the correct block there. There we are. And really what you want to be careful with when you're doing a project like this is you don't want your townies to get stuck. If your townies get stuck, that's bad, but if your heroes get stuck, it's even worse because your heroes have this weird tendency to just lose their minds and start killing off citizens. Like I had a situation in another save where I accidentally threw... You know, the inadequacy of my building habits ended up trapping a bunch of citizens down in the bottom of a mine with a barbarian, and he went batshit crazy and just started exterminating people left and right. It did not turn out well for anyone. The entire situation was just generally unpleasant, so let me get rid of that stone because it's blocking my building, and I really dislike when stones block my building. So there we are, and actually I think that's a layer down. We didn't even get the ones we needed to get, strangely enough, unless it just didn't destroy that layer. That's a little weird. Interesting. I'll play around with that in just a minute. It's saying there's a line of blocks there that I'm not seeing, actually, strangely enough. Oh, never mind. That's just an optical illusion. Never mind. It's an optical illusion. It's because the game isn't showing depth very well. Alright, so now that that's done, and now that we've got this roof going over here, we'll continue to put in the roof there. I was going to build these two little pedestals up, or these two little columns up, and put a flag on each one, but I was worried that my roof would kind of bond to it and make it look a little derpy, so we're going to stay away from that for right now until I can figure out a way to circumvent that problem, because I would almost guarantee that the glue system is going to take these it's going to take these clay roofs right here, and it's going to bind them to that if I build it any higher, so maybe I'll just put the flags on this layer. Who knows? Now, for our mausoleum slash morgue slash mortuary slash whatever you want to call it, let's take a look here and see what we can get done. So they changed the texture of those blocks. They're a little lighter. And so this may not be a mausoleum to the god Amok, unfortunately. Unless Amok as a death god is, you know, unless he's attracted to gold and white, which generally not the colors of death. Usually people tend to stick with the blacks, the dark colors. But maybe he's a death god who's attracted to ridiculously bright colors. It could be. It could happen. So who knows? I'm going to get rid of that right there. And what we'll do is we'll go to our road menu and let's build this out a little further. I haven't really played with the dimensions on this just yet. But we'll see how it goes. Oh, good. We can build our roads in more than just a line now. That's good. Actually, I think we could do that before. Never mind. Now... there it is. There it is. Let me grab you. Actually, I don't need you. Never mind. I don't need you. I can do this all on my own. There we are. So we'll get the floor placed in. And now what I really like to play with is the idea of getting the next layer or so built here. So let's go back to our block menu. And remember that the blocks we were using are hidden in this top left corner. And we'll go with rough bricks. And I don't really know, I know I'm going to use a lot of windows for this building, but I don't really know how I'm going to arrange them. So I guess I'll leave that empty right there. This is going to be a kind of a view through. Maybe we'll put some potted plants or something nice, organic there, just to make everything look a little bit nicer. And I suppose we'll go through like so and get those done. And we'll go windows there, windows there. Well, we don't need to do windows on this side. Never mind. It's not going to be exposed on this side, so we won't even deal with windows on this end of the building. On this side, though, we'll do all kinds of windows. Because I don't like to waste my time. I don't like to waste my building queue. I'm not going to queue up a bunch of extra windows. So we'll leave that open, that open. 3 windows there for the vestibule. That'll look nice. And then down here, we'll start actually dividing them up quite possibly. And Cow, you're on my wall, Cow. He's like, I don't know. You can't do anything to stop me. I'm just a cow. I'll call PETA on you. They'll throw blood on your town. And I did it again, damn. Let's go back here, and I apologize if I sound a little bit hoarse. I've had a bit of a cough lately. Although I don't feel sick, which is weird, so it's just like a random cough. No idea. It seems to have come out of nowhere and then vanished just as quickly. It was just last night, actually. Just hacking up a lung. And actually, I'd prefer that to some of the other more horrible diseases you could catch. So I had the flu a couple months ago, and it was just awful. I couldn't talk. I was making all kinds of weird squeaky noises. And actually, no, I hadn't started doing LPs at that point. I was actually just beginning to contemplate doing LPs at that point. So that was pre-SC, pre-Splattercat, if you were to date it. But hopefully someone will come along and place these blocks. I really hate the fact that a lot of the time they don't appear to listen to what I'm telling them. But then again, I guess I do have a lot of building things kind of queued up. Did they place these next row of blocks down here? They did, but there's stone in the way, so let's get that done. And I'm trying to get the spirally staircase done before we go down to the next layer, but if it ends up not happening, I may just dig like a shaft over here and just have it go straight down so that the heroes can clear things out and we can get some new gear while making this aesthetically nice tunnel. Up here, I'm planning on making a fishing pier just to let you guys in on what's coming for the future. There should be a little fishing pier. Now that I have that little bamboo dock, I may make a fishing pier right here with some fishing poles, things of that nature, so people can come up here and get happy when they need to. But that's kind of on the horizon for right now. I'd also like to, once I get jobs assigned, I'd like to get haulers ready to go. And really for the first time, I'll be able to regulate what gets hauled and what doesn't without a ridiculous binary system. That'll be really, really cool. So I'll be able to click that off for the group instead of having to mess around with barrels and locked doors and all kinds of different, you know, if switches and things of that nature. So that'll be really nice. Now, let's get some windows placed here. I don't know how this is going to look, so this is all going to remain tentative for the moment. But I believe that windows are in our furniture menu, which is always something I've disagreed with because they're blocks, but I've always preferred that windows be in a block menu, and it's not letting me place them. Oh, we didn't want one there. Never mind. That's going to be an open space. We're going to put a potted plant there, and we'll go like so. And like so that the vestibule has its windows. And then from there, once we get into the actual indoor area, we'll just put them every other, and we'll just see how that looks. I can't really guarantee aesthetically that this is going to look amazing because it's hard to visualize these things in your head before they actually get laid down, but hopefully they'll look nice. That's all that we can aspire to it looking reasonable at the moment. We can't really hope for much better until we see it in action. Let me take a look at my food stocks one more time just to make sure that everything is kosher. And if our food isn't kosher, at least it is plentiful in supply. So we've got some cooked pork, we've got some pears, we got some pear pies, and cake is still comprising the majority of our diet. Everybody's just unhealthy as hell. We all have blackened teeth and so forth, but we're happy. That's really the trade-off. I've noticed in life that, you know, you can choose between being ultra skinny or generally being happy. I choose to be happy. I mean, I'm not going to stress. If I want to eat myself some ice cream, I'm going to eat myself some ice cream, and we in the town of Boo endorse that entirely. Why be miserable when you can eat whatever you want and be happy? Why? You know, it's an inevitability anyways. Someday we're all going to be generally rotund. It's part of getting older. So why fight the curve? Why fight it, guys? Why fight it? Just accept it. Now, going down to this bottom layer, let's make sure that everything's cool here. I would like to get a bit done in any given case. And let's get rid of these walls here. Now that, well, we don't have a full walkway. Never mind. I'm not going to tempt myself with the possibility of trapping my townies down here. And I would like to, let me take a look at stone. We've got 150 stone left. It is incredible the rate at which I go through stone. I largely think it's due to the fact that this floor cobble takes 2 stone, and I've been building a lot of it, so I think that eats up a huge chunk of my stone supply much quicker than I would like, but what can you do? Sometimes it happens. And let's go grab some more stone here, and it was in this corner menu. That's right, I just said something about that, and I'm already forgetting. Just forgetful as hell. Forgetful Frankie, if we wanted to be alliterative about our inability to keep track of what the hell we're working on at any given moment. There we are, and I've been tempted to put kind of a little stick out deal right here to make it kind of round out a little better, but I'll do that once the building's completed. I am liking the general architecture of the building. I like the floor plan. Sometimes I finish a building like the clown house over here, this ridiculous clown house, and I'm like, eh. Although it does look like he changed the way the roof glue works, so I don't hate it quite as much now. So maybe oblong roofs will work a little better. Let's play with this here. Yeah, it looks like he changed the algorithm for how that works, so that'll look nice. Unfortunately, let's see here, that goes up to there. So it looks like we've got a little bit extra roof there, but we can't actually roof this properly. I don't know if you guys noticed, but there was kind of an overhang thing going on in the last little bit, and I was not a fan of it. That was actually the main reason why I dislike this building. So let's go ahead and we'll get rid of as many of those as possible. It'll look a little nicer. I mean, it won't look amazing, but what can you do? And then over here, I believe, like, this entire row was just overhang in order to get the glue system to work. Oh, maybe not. It's tough to tell sometimes. Oh well, we'll put in new roofs. I'll build another scaffolding up to the roof, and we'll get that fixed off in just a little bit. For now, we'll leave it incomplete, but as I was saying, sometimes I finish a clown house, and I'm like, I don't really like the way that looks. I wish I hadn't built that and wasted so much time on it. But what can you do? What can you do? What can you do? You just keep on plugging. So let's see how this is going to look. I can't guarantee that this window model is going to be my favorite either. And right after I said I wasn't going to place windows much longer, and we're going to need an alternate scaffolding. Damn, this doesn't go all the way around, so hopefully nobody gets trapped on the walls. I don't think they will, really thinking about it. I doubt that this whole circuit will impede my townie's abilities to get down to the ground, but it should be fine. I think we'll be okay. So, other things that we should probably work on, we need to continue clearing out trees. So let's go ahead and we're going to harvest these out. And once those are harvested, we will chop them out and get rid of them. There are other little trees attempting to grow here. Not a whole lot we can do about it at the moment. And we do need this mountain to go as way as... we need it to vanish. This mountain needs to go away so that we can build our super awesome tavern, which I have all plotted out and ready to go. I am excited about building the tavern. It's got an overall floor plan that I feel is really going to look nice. It's going to bring the whole town together, and it's also going to supply us with some more heroes, which is what we've been badly lacking lately. And I would like to flesh out our hero supply, and actually I think that'll probably look okay once we get the rest of the walls in. Once again, it's tough to tell. It's difficult to tell how this is going to look until we get the rest of the walls in, and it looks like we're missing a block there, so let's go down to the proper layer, and never mind, the block's going in. I do like our stairwell. I keep just looking at it and being like, yeah, that's a pretty sweet stairwell. Now on this floor, no one has come along to lay that, so quite possibly they may need another scaffold. I doubt it, but just in case. We are above sea level right now, so they should be able to jump a single block vertically, but sometimes they just seem to refuse the order and just do whatever the hell they want, so we'll see what happens. With the new way that the roofs work with glue, I'm not really sure how it's going to turn out for the way it's going to bond with these pillars. It may or may not backfire on us. Let's get this townie a door, too. We're going to go to our furniture menu here, go to our door menu, and let's give them a nice wooden door. And I've noticed that this isn't outfitted either, so we'll give them a bed, and quite possibly we'll make them an avid reader. So we'll give them a bunch of bookcases. We'll also give them a little squares table, or a chess table, if you will. That being in place, we'll put down some benches. That'll probably be okay. That'll be enough. I mean, if you're not content with all of that stuff, what are you content with? And I'm going to declare that Rose DeVoe is the mayor because she has the super awesome room. So there you go. She's the mayor, which means she gets the most awesome room in the place. She doesn't have to share with anybody or anything. I think we should probably put a door in right here too, because this will make it look a little bit nicer. So we're going to go to our furniture menu once again and lay down a door there. And it's looking very nice. It's looking very nice. I like the way it look. And so now, I don't remember there being bluebirds before, but I guess there's bluebirds now. I'm trying to figure out what my storage situation is going to be. I may build a little warehouse over here, or maybe a connection, like take out a wall right here and then build a connecting kind of storehouse that connects to all three of these little areas so that they can grab iron, they can grab wood, they can grab bone, and all the things they need from the chest they need up close. And then once I assign people specifically to haul items, we shouldn't have a problem keeping all those various little storage areas. Well, what's going on here? It looks like our food supply is dwindling. That's not good. We have enough cakes. We have enough pork, so I guess they're just not hauling, maybe. They're not putting things where they need to be at the moment. But yeah, that makes me a little nervous, especially given the way that some of my townies are walking like they're debuffed. If you start seeing townies walking around really slowly, you should bear in mind that probably means they're malnourished at the moment. Are we out of stone, possibly? I mean, I loathe to think that I'm out of stone already because I just mined out like 400 of it. So why is this not being placed? There is a new priorities panel. I don't know if I mentioned this. I don't think I did. The new priorities panel takes multiple other things into account, namely feeding animals, but I'm going to keep butchering at a higher priority because I prefer to just kill them before I even have to feed them in the first place. I have noticed that fundamental flaw with the feeding system where you get bogged down very, very rapidly feeding even a small pen of pigs right here. I had at least 5 to 6 of my townies just constantly sitting here feeding pigs until I decided to reroute my priorities menu and make sure that everybody's getting, well, every piggy's getting killed at the proper time, getting butchered. I guess we don't call it being killed, we call it getting butchered. And let's destroy that wooden bed. We didn't need that extra bed. I don't know why it was placed there. Maybe I misclicked, but who knows? Who knows? So, what is everybody up to? Let me take a look at my citizens here and figure out what everybody's doing. Pear pie, eat, haul, sleep. Absolutely nothing. Hauling. So I'm not sure. Absolutely not sure why these roofs aren't being placed. Maybe it's a side effect of that scaffolding not being there. So I'll re-queue up the job. Maybe we'll see somebody skip to Maloo and take care of it. And then what we'll do is now I'm actually pretty pleased that the roof tiles will bond with oblong roofs. That was a complaint of mine, where really the game kind of pigeonholed you into building roofs that were square. You didn't really have a choice because the roof glue did not like to grab the other tiles. It would do all kinds of weird funky stuff. You saw the clown house, and if you didn't, run back to some previous episodes and take a look. It is definitely a frustration. I didn't like the way that it turns out, and it looks like we're missing some bricks there too. I just noticed that. So let's go to our bricklaying menu, and we will make sure that bricks are laid properly, because you gotta lay your bricks every now and again. It keeps them content. You gotta keep them laid. So hopefully re-queuing up those roofs, I think it did, yeah. So sometimes what'll happen, if you're unaware, is if your townies don't have access, it will technically cancel the job, but it won't remove the little highlighted areas. So the little blue squares won't disappear, but it will technically cancel the job. The job just won't happen. And in that situation, all you gotta do is re-queue up the job and it'll finally occur. So if you're having issues with things like that, where you've got little blue squares all over the place, and you don't know how to fix your architecture, you don't know how to fix your town, that's how you do it. So let's go ahead and we're gonna go to our outdoor decorations menu now. And once we have that, that's my indoor decorations menu. What are you doing, Splattercat? We're going to grab some red short flags. And I think we need iron for these, but it's fine. We'll waste a little bit of iron. We have a huge iron mine down below the surface in the -4. So at a certain point, I will come down here and slap mines on all these. And actually, I should probably do that now. Yeah, let's go ahead and queue that up. So we're going to queue up some digging. And we're just going to try and get this entire area ironed out, if we wanted to be, I guess, if we wanted to be punny about it, if we wanted to assign some type of pun value to the whole thing, which really I regret doing every time I do it, so I don't know why I do it. And there, yeah, it looks like they've added colors to all the birds. We got little orange birds flying around in people's houses and stuff now. Hopefully, I'll be able to zone off areas that are like no-fly zones, literally for animals, so that if animals go in your building, they get instantly butchered. I would like that to be a feature, but oh good, it didn't bond like I thought it would. So let's lay down this final roofing. There we are. And we'll get all those roof tiles in place. And once that's been dealt with, we'll kind of take a look around and figure out what other things need to be worked on. I'm thinking I'm going to finish off the bakery and the kitchen area for now. So let's grab a scaffold and we'll place that. And as soon as that comes along, we can actually place 2 layers at a time, since we already have a wall right here. It's got something to stick to, so we don't have anything to worry about. And scanning through my barrels here, every now and again I like to scan through the barrels, just make sure, because sometimes I feel like the moment I take my eye off of my barrels, they're instantly empty, and then I've got people starving, and you get that obnoxious, oh god, I can't even I hate the sound of people dying in my town, especially female townies. Like, I don't know who recorded that god-awful noise, but I just loathe it. I abhor that noise, and I wish they had a different sound effect. And that is pretty noisy. So we're going to go up here to the next floor, and we'll see what happens. But I'm not going to stay down there while it's going ting, 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 and drowning out things. I can try and adjust that in post, but really, it's kind of obnoxious anyways. So we're going to stay up here on the top floor. This hillock needs to go. So I am going to slate that for death as well. So there we are. Just getting our queue nice and lined up in the long run. And I think for now, this is probably a good spot to break off this episode. I know this is a little bit short, but I don't want it to run too long if I'm really not doing anything, because then I feel like I'm just chatting and accomplishing nothing. So my name is Splattercat. Thank you for joining me here in the township of Boo. I hope you've enjoyed this episode. I've enjoyed making it. Ooh, we've got a new stone brick wall. Anyways, I've enjoyed making it, and I hope you'll join me for the next episode. I know this one was a little uneventful, but hopefully we'll have something special lined up for the future. That being said, like, subscribe if you enjoy the videos. I don't plug that very often, so I figured I'd whore myself briefly here. And I will see you guys next time. Take care out there.